Hey, distance learners, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to walk you guys through your instructions for today and the topics and the goals of our lesson today. Today, we're tackling something that is something you've definitely done before with maybe other teachers, but not something that we have done online. So this is a new concept for us. We're going to be looking at author claims, authors' arguments, and the evidence that they use, and how we can identify these things. You may remember talking about this in previous years, but I do want to take the time to go over what these are. So author claims. Let's go over and read this definition to start. The definition of a claim that an author makes. A claim is a reason or point an author uses to support their argument. Claims are supported with evidence. It is not just a debatable opinion or argument. That sounds kind of complicated, so let me give you an example that will help you figure out what I'm talking about. So over Easter, this past weekend, I went to go visit my family, and my little sister was turning 9 while I was there. She, for her birthday, was desperately asking my mother for a cell phone. She wanted to be able to text all of her family and friends that she knew that also had cell phones. So her argument, the thing that she was trying to convince my mother of, was I should be allowed to have a cell phone. Her reason, her claim, was that everyone else has a cell phone, therefore I should be allowed to have a cell phone as well. Her argument was trying to convince my mother to let her have a cell phone. Her claim was that everyone else had one, so therefore she should be allowed to have one too. It's important that we remember that arguments and claims are not the same thing. Arguments are what we're trying to convince that person of, maybe in writing, maybe in speech, and the claims are the reasons that we give for that argument. Let's keep going. There's some strategies that we can use to help us when we're trying to find the arguments and claims of an author's poem or story or essay. So strategy number 1, use the title. A lot of the times the authors will give us hints about the main idea, which is very, very closely entwined and related to finding arguments and finding claims. Strategy number 2, notice what gets repeated in the text. Just like your parents, when they want you to do something, they will repeat it over and over again. Strategy number 2, they will also say something over and over again if it's very important, they being the authors. Strategy number 3, focus on the opening ideas and closing ideas in a passage, especially in a paragraph. This is a test-taking strategy as well, but oftentimes authors will include summaries or main ideas or their thesis in the first or the last sentences of paragraphs, especially in introduction and first body paragraphs. So if you look at those first and last sentences all throughout an essay or an article, a lot of the times you can find some good hints about what their claims or their arguments are. Strategy number 4, focus on what evidence the author is using. Evidence is used to support claims. Claims are the reasons for someone's argument. So it's all connected to each other. So if they're using evidence to support something, that's going to be the claim that they're making. So my sister, let's use that example again. Her argument was, I should be allowed to have a cell phone. That's what she's trying to convince my mother of. Her claim is that everyone else has it. So some evidence that she might reference is all of the other kids in my class who are also 9 have cell phones as well. That would be some evidence that she might give to support her claim for her argument that she should be allowed to have a cell phone. All right, let's look at the steps that we are going to use in my class, and we're going to use these for our practice and our assignment today. That will help you find and evaluate author claims. So let's look at these. So for each passage and photo that you're going to see in our assignment, these are the 4 steps I want you to follow. You're going to write your answers to these in the actual assignment itself. So step 1 will be to read the text or look at the photo. You're going to search for the author's claims and evidence. Step 2, you're going to write out the author's argument. A lot of the times, once we find out what they're trying to convince us of, then we can start looking at their claims, their reasons for their argument. Step 3, write out the author's claim. This is where we're building to. This is what we're really focusing on. What are the reasons they're giving for their argument? We want to make sure that our claims are not too general and not too specific. We don't want them so specific that the wording is taken exactly from the passage or the advertisement or whatever it is that we're reading, But we also don't want it so general that it doesn't even sound like the same thing. So we need to find a balance in the middle, and we want to make sure that it's accurate as well. And when we also say not too general, not too specific, we mean, and we want to make sure that we're putting things in our own words. That's very important. All right, step 4. In your own words, see that was going to come up again. Paraphrase the evidence the author uses to support his or her claim. So remember, evidence supports claims, and claims are the reasons that someone makes to support their argument. So all three are connected together. So we need to paraphrase the evidence that the author is using here. So in the case of my sister, the evidence that she used that all 27 of the other 9-year-olds in her class also have a cell phone, that is a piece of evidence that we would need to paraphrase, meaning put into our own words. So let's go ahead and look at this assignment for today. You're going to follow these 4 steps where you read the text and look at the photo. Then you're going to write out the author's argument, what they're trying to convince you of. Then step 3, you're going to write out the author's claim. You don't want it to be too general or too specific, meaning it's in your own words. And then step 4, in your own words, paraphrase the evidence the author uses to support his or her claim, meaning put it in your own words. So let's look at this example here. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I'm going to walk you through how you're going to answer this. So step 1, read the text or look at the photo. In this case, it's a photo. We're searching for the author's claims and evidence. So let's look. Looks like it's an advertisement for something called Pop Chips here. We see less guilty, more pleasure, 100 calories, and then 3 different stacks of chips here, fried chips, kettle-style chips, and Pop Chips, and then a breakdown of their nutritional information, things like their fat, carbs, protein, and fiber content. Then we see this little paragraph here. Crunch the numbers. Pop Chips are never fried, unhealthy, and never baked, undelicious. We take a little heat, add some pressure, and pop. You've got a delicious snack with just 100 calories, 3 grams of fat, and 17 plus chips per single serve bag. So share some popped love. Don't let your friends eat fried. So this is the advertisement that we're going to be looking at. We're going to follow our steps through. So after we've started looking for the evidence, looking for the claims that are being made, we're going to do step 2. We're going to write out the author's argument. What are they trying to convince us of? What's their argument here? Then, after we found their argument, we can start looking for their claims, their reasons to support their argument. Write out the author's claim. And then for step 4, you're going to, in your own words, paraphrase the evidence that the author used in this advertisement to support their claim. I would definitely take a look here at these nutrition facts. And then you're going to do this again, but you're going to do it with an excerpt. And you follow all 3 and 4 of our steps. And then you're going to do it again with one more advertisement, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to submit. Make sure you type your answers in full and complete sentences. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a great rest of your day.